We know that getting on the slopes could come a little later in the day than it used to if Congress passes the Sunshine Protection Act. Now, that would make daylight saving time permanent year-round and would mean we would not set our clocks back an hour in the fall.
Yes, ski areas here in Colorado say if we don't change our clocks, they will likely have to change how they operate.
Right.
Our man in the mountains is at Winter Park this morning. And Matt, not changing the clocks will mean the sun comes up later in the day and in the middle of winter. That will have impacts on ski areas and also the people driving there.
You're right, Sam and Drew, good morning. And that's one of the big reasons why a lot of ski areas oppose the Sunshine Protection Act. We all know the sun comes up a little bit later in the morning during the winter, more so in the mountains. But if we don't fall back and move our clocks back in the fall, it will mean that it's darker later into the morning, impacting ski area operations and potentially delaying when they can start their lifts. At the Winter Park Resort, C.A. Lane,
Vice President of Resort Operations,
is buying a little time.
We're all absorbing those contingencies right now
To see what happens to ski area operations if Congress passes the Sunshine Protection Act and people don't move their clocks back an hour this fall.
Looking at the significant impact of Sunshine Protection Act making daylight savings time permanent will really affect our early morning operation.
Not falling back will mean later sunrises this winter with more morning drives to the mountains in the dark and later drives back to Denver.
That shift is going to really impact early morning and potentially make us go later, which people getting back later to Denver.
While lifts that normally start turning at 9 might start later, but also run later into the afternoon.
It would be under consideration. And how that moves, how we relate as an industry for consistency, a lot of question marks.
With ski areas across Colorado now trying to figure out all that, along with staffing and how operations might change if all of our clocks stay the same.
We have people coming in as early as 4:30 in the morning, doing mechanical checks on all of our lifts. We then go through with patrol for terrain evaluation, avalanche mitigation, lift maintenance up on the hill, operators, and then staff is distributed. That time frame is very dialed right now.
All of it like a fine working machine at ski areas. So many questions. If we had longer days in the afternoon and they left those lifts running, that potentially could help businesses at base areas like restaurants and bars, because people would stick around longer. But by far, most ski areas around Colorado and even Utah oppose the Sunshine Protection Act for all those reasons, impacting employee schedules, operations on the mountains, ski race camps, traffic patterns. There is even some concern over how snow conditions will be impacted if the sun is setting later in the afternoon. Reporting from Winter Park, I'm Matt Renew, 9 News. Sam, Drew, a lot of questions with this. Another concern people have also is if it's darker later in the morning, that means people are driving more in the dark in the wintertime to ski areas. That could mean more accidents on their way to ski areas. It's already passed through Congress, but the Senate's looking at it right now.
See, I like this time of the year right now, Matt, because it's 6:45, but we can clearly see you. You've got the daylight there on your side, a beautiful looking shot with Matt Renew.
Stunning.
Now, if we stick with the permanent daylight saving deal, we all know that it would still be dark at this time at 6:45, that's usual. But it would also be dark at 7:45, Matt. And even at 8:45, we wouldn't have that much sunlight. So it really would be a crazy shift in the morning hours if we stick to permanent daylight saving time.
And that's just it. That sunrise comes a lot later into the morning. It's darker much longer in the morning. The benefit is you get more light in the afternoon, but you lose it on that morning side. So it really is, where are those bigger impacts? All those questions. I like the light in the morning a little bit more, but that's being a little bit selfish, more than the afternoon, because it's for those that get up early, a little bit easier to sleep when that sun goes down a little bit earlier in the afternoon.
That's right. We agree over here as well. Matt Renew, thank you.